Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cookie Snack Attack and Seriously Sweet. This is Amy. How are you today? Hi. Let's see if everyone can hear me first. Oh my goodness, why does this always do this? Hold on just a second. Hey, how is everybody today? Oh my gosh, I went outside and now my hair is, my bun is loose. How are you guys doing today? Hey. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Decorating? I wish I was decorating a bunch of cookies. I'm still not quite fully myself. Hey, Kathy. Hi, Mona. How are you guys doing? Hi, Charlotte. How are you today? Hello. Hi, Myra. How are you? Hi, Barbie. Becky. Hello. Looks like the gang is all checking in. Hello. Oh, good. You can hear me. Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, Debbie. Bobby. Hey. Okay, so this is so weird, you guys. You know, I got my booster shot. Oh, Debbie, cool. You're doing a lunch break so you can do your dough for today. That's fun. Hey, Kat. Hi, Judy. Hello, Lavelle. How's everybody? Hi, Sandy. Oh, Sandy, I'm so sorry. So I have been getting the vaccines and the boosters, even though I don't normally get flu shots because they affect me really badly. Like I feel like I get the full illness. I don't think these are going to work. I don't think they're strong enough. I have all these pairs of reading glasses. Remember I told you I broke my favorite pair, or they came unglued and I haven't been able to fix them yet. And so I have been trying out different ones. Oh, these are the right ones. I don't like these because they're all pointy over here, but they're okay. They're pink. Hey, Melinda, are you here? Melinda, hey, Melinda, how are you? Hi, Sabra. Okay, so I actually feel better today, but I feel like I don't have all my strength back yet. I had Moderna, so your booster shot for Moderna is only a half a dose. And this one, the first 2 days were equally as bad as the full dose, although I do feel like I'm bouncing back faster. But where I got my shot, I got my shot in this arm, My arm where I got my shot. Hey, Raju. Hi, Grace. How are you guys doing? Where I got my actual shot, not sore at all this time, nothing. But the lymph nodes underneath my arm in this area were swollen up. The lymph node there was swollen up. So can you see my mic today? I'll see if it'll stay. Um, I either need the whole thing to stay or it to go away because it looks weird in the replays. So, but my lymph nodes swelled up so much under my arm there that I was in so much pain that I was alternating ice packs and heating pad, and it's really bad. Like it was so painful I couldn't sleep. But not as much joint pain this time. The first two shots that I got, I had super bad joint pain. Like it was painful to move. It was painful to roll over, stand up, like anything. I could have told you where every joint in my body was. It was really bad. But I do feel like I'm bouncing back. I'm just not at full energy. So I decided, I hope you guys will forgive me, but I decided to make today a little bit easier so there wasn't a lot of prep. So, and I only want to be on here until a couple minutes before 1. Hey, Allison, how are you doing? Allison, I have to message with you. I have to message with you in a minute to see what time is good to see you this afternoon. Hey, Sally, how are you? 60 degrees. Well, it's not 60 here. It's only 36. And we're getting more snow or ice on Thursday and more snow or ice on Saturday. So if you're local and you're watching and you have a pickup scheduled for Saturday, I'm going to be giving you a call to see if we can make arrangements for late Friday pickups. Just because I don't want you guys out on the road. My husband plows snow when it snows, and I don't want you out on the road. He said the roads have been so terrible the last 2 storms and the ice and all of that. I don't want to contribute to any of that. I am, Barbie, so thankful I was able to get the booster and that I had it scheduled right before the snowstorm. So I was able to get it, not be out in the weather. And then it's been so quiet at my house and my pups have been so good. I think the stress of Anna having had surgery 2 weeks ago and then me getting the booster, I think everyone's exhausted. So we have been trying to sleep through this booster shot. I knew I planned it because I knew how bad the first 2 were. Hey, Julie, how are you? Yeah. Oh, you have a cold? I'm sorry, Allison. Let's see what we got going on here with Paula. Another snow day. Oh, wow. Wow. It's a lot of snow, right? You're going to get snow in Houston, Becky? I want proof. I want a photo of your house covered in snow. All right, so let me quickly tell you what just a bunch of housekeeping information. Don't forget today is Tuesday, so you have today, tomorrow, and Thursday to sign up to get into the Valentine's class. So if somebody's on here that can drop over to my website, which is seriouslysweetcupcakes.com, and grab the link to the Valentine class. You still have time to get in on the Valentine class. It's still listed for just $30. The price has not gone up. All the information is in there. You can use different shapes if you want to, but all the info's in there. What kind of icing, all of that you need to make is in there. So you still have time to get ready. And if all goes well, my plan tomorrow night is to do a very short prep video. Oh, Paula, you did? I'll check I haven't checked any of that stuff yet this morning. I slept as long as possible and was gathering stuff. So do you like my this is a different pink sweatshirt. This one's even brighter. This is like some kind of 24 inches in less than 12 hours. No, I can't be having that. That's a little much for me. Like 8 to 12, I'm good, but 24 seems excessive. Oh, thank you, Barbie. So the class is for sale at seriouslysweetcupcakes.com. Thank you, Sabra. I appreciate you guys. So the class is this Saturday from 4 to 7 Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. The link is already in the private group. If you paid for the class, then other than since 9 p.m. last night, if you paid for the class before 9 p.m. last night, you were sent a fulfillment email and you were sent a separate email with a link to the private group. So make sure you check your spam folder and your regular email and go ahead and get in that group so you can get started. Okay, so you still have time to get in on that. And also today I loaded from our bonus tutorial, I loaded our geode cards for the Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System cards. So you have a cover card, index cover card that has that it's a bonus tutorial, not a TTT, which is Tutorial Tuesday, but this is a bonus tutorial geode cookie. And then you have the actual card for the geodes with a finished photo of the cookie. So this is listed on the site. Also, if you have not been keeping up with this, we just started this cookie education system at the beginning of the year. I have not raised prices on any of the cards yet, because each week you're going to have a week to buy the card at the discounted price, and then they're going to go up. But I have not raised the prices on the template index cards or on any of the cards. And I think there's 4 sets up there now. So grab those today, because I am going to update all of that tomorrow. Now, this is not a recipe I can share with you, because I got the recipe from taking someone else's class. And so, you know, that's a big no-no, right? But I wanted to make these cookies because I had some extra dough and I really like this dough. And I made mine super crispy because I wanted to dunk them in some vanilla chai latte tea today. So I made some extras. But what you will need for tonight, if you want to decorate with me tonight, we're going to do 2 different kinds of snow people cookies, but we're going to keep them in a Valentine theme. So I can tie the snow of late together with our Valentine cookies so we can photograph everything together when we get this series done. So these, now look, this is not super technical. We started hand ripping cookies. Well, let me see what this says. Let me see. I think somebody has a question. Let me see. Barbie, are we okay? You got your photo box. Oh, good. Good. And I have links in there. So if you also save a file on your desktop and just call it CSACES for Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System, just label it, drop everything in there. The files are saved under a file name that will keep them in numerical order, so they're by date. And I explained that in an earlier video, but I can go over that another day with you as well. But leave it like that, because then if you're ever like, oh, you're flipping through your photo box and you're, oh, I want to make geode cookies, then you can see what date the cookies were. Go back to the file that's on your desktop on your computer, find it by date, and then click on that link, and it's going to take you straight to the free tutorial that's in YouTube. So it will actually be a lot quicker than you guys hunting around and posting in the group, where are these things and whatnot. So you'll be able to find everything. Okay. So for tonight, these are just like 3 or 4 inch round cookies, and I hand ripped the dough. So guys, this is not super complicated. I like a rough edge on the dough, especially for what we're going to do tonight. And we also did hand ripping on our dough for our geode cookies. So if you want to see more detail about that, watch the free geode tutorial, which is on the YouTube page or in our group or on my Seriously Sweet page. But for this dough today, I rolled it as flat as I could because I wanted these to be crispy for tea. I normally make 1/4 inch thick cookies. So I just put a solo cup over it and ripped the dough. And that's how I got this cool edge and got these circles. So have a couple of discs for tonight. It really doesn't matter what size. And it doesn't matter what recipe you use tonight. I'm just using up some dough that was in the fridge, but I can't give you the recipe for these because this was from someone else's class. And I just needed to use the dough up because I'm getting a grocery delivery in a few. So, and then make some balls of dough in your hand, just like this. Put it down on the cookie sheet. You make the hump in your hand so you have this little area, and pat it down, because I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this, where you can make them really dimensional for your snow people, or we're going to do it in segments. But I'm going to show you 2 snow people cookies tonight. So I hope you'll join me at 7. I'm going to take a good long nap before tonight. I've already got my icing, my cookies, everything is ready to go. So we will do all of that tonight. And then for this morning, I thought maybe given the time of year and the season that you guys might appreciate a good homemade crock pot. So easy peasy cleanup chicken soup recipe. Now, the only thing missing from my chicken noodle soup recipe here, this is so good, by the way. It's my go-to whenever I know I'm going to be getting a shot or I'm not going to be feeling well. And I'm going to tell you, this is the easiest you can make. Now, you can make homemade chicken noodle soup all the way from scratch. Make your own noodles, make your own chicken. But seriously, who has time for all that? I don't have time for all that. So let me tell you what I did. I took my round crock pot, standard size round crock pot. I always buy a liner and I line it so that it's not such a mess to clean up, because who has time for all that? Also, if you're going to use liners, I find that it's super helpful to put about 3 tablespoons of water, or just a thin layer of water across the bottom of your crock pot before you put your liner bag in there. So I just put the liner bag in, I pulled it over the sides, and then this is how easy this is. You're going to love it, I promise you. And I like my soup thick. I like it really, really thick, like this, like almost like the consistency of what it would be to have chicken and dumplings. So if that's not for you, hey Gianna, how are you? Hi Debbie. If you don't like thick soup, this is not for you. But I literally sit down with half of a baguette that's really toasted and hard, and I eat my soup with a baguette. Like, I have a fork in here now just to show you how thick it is. But if you want a runnier soup, you can make it runnier. You're just going to need to cut back on the harder ingredients and put more liquid in it. But let me just tell you how easy this is. So put your liner in there. Buy an already cooked rotisserie chicken. Doesn't even matter what flavor. Just buy an already cooked rotisserie chicken. Get out some of the gloves that you use when you're making cookies, because who wants all that mess on your hands? Go ahead and debone the chicken and use all of the meat, the white meat and the dark meat. It's very flavorful once you put this together. I don't put the skin in. I just take all the meat off, everything off the chicken that I can possibly use. I don't use any of the drippings from in there, because my husband freaks out because there's a lot of fat from the chicken skin. So I don't use that. Okay. So it's one, you can, but it's one thing that I've learned to do to keep peace. Hey, Kelly. So then the next thing I do is I put all of that chicken into the crock pot. I put 2 of the boxes, just the regular size boxes of chicken broth. I put straight chicken broth in there. And then I put, the next thing I'm about to tell you, you can put it all together like in a liner, like a piece of cheesecloth that's tied, and leave it in there because it's for flavoring. That way you can just find that one thing and fish it out. But I just put mine in the pot, and then we find it when we eat it. So I put in a regular size crock pot, I put 3 to 4 full size bay leaves. Okay. And you don't want to eat those, obviously, but they're awesome for flavoring. And then I put, if I don't have spring onions, which I usually have spring onions, and I chop the tops off of those really fine. If I don't have spring onions, then I just put I keep a huge thing of dried chives. So I'll just put some chives in there. Salt and pepper to taste, but you don't really need a lot. You don't need a lot of salt because it's going to be in the chicken broth. And, the pepper, just black pepper, no red pepper. You don't want that in here. And I put about 2 tablespoons of rubbed sage. That's pretty much it for the flavorings, and it makes the most delicious soup. Now, then what I do is I chop up 4 full-size stalks of celery as fine as possible, because that also adds to the flavoring. And then I buy one of those mini bags of carrots that they're already skinned and they look like baby carrots. I cut those in half. I don't do thin slices because I like a good thick chunk of carrot, but when I got my grocery delivery, my carrots were canceled. So there's no orange in here. I mainly do it for the color. I know they have a lot of value nutritionally, and especially in a soup, because you're eating everything. So even though they're cooking down soft, all those vitamins are releasing into the liquid, but they did not have any when I got my delivery. So today it's celery. So the chicken and then the broth, I told you the seasonings to use, and celery and carrot is usually all I add to mine. And then I use the pictures up from earlier. I use the egg yolk noodles. They're Pennsylvania Dutch egg yolk noodles, and they're wide. Now, cut back on those. I use a whole bag. If you don't want a thick soup, cut back on those, because they suck up all the liquid, and that's why it gets so good and thick. So that's why it looks like chicken noodle soup, but it's not really. So I don't know how I came to use bay leaves and rub sage. I have no idea. It's not in most traditional chicken noodle soup recipes. I think it's what my grandmother, my great grandmother, taught me when I was a little kid, but she would do that in her chicken and dumplings. And I would make chicken and dumplings, except my husband doesn't like dumplings. So you can also do the same thing. Don't do the noodles and make dumplings and drop in here. You can use the same base. But after this is in your crock pot about 3 to 4 hours, it's going to be nice and thick. And what's lovely about this soup, there's just two of us in my house, and this makes a full crock pot. So if we're not going to eat all of it immediately, this freezes really well. So we just have those little like sandwich containers, the Rubbermaid sandwich containers, and I fill up about 6 of those before we ever start eating the soup. Let those totally cool off on the countertop, cap them, pop that whole container in a freezer bag, label the freezer bag, and this freezes great. And one of those little containers pulled out is enough for us to have for a light lunch. And what was there anything else that I might have tried differently? Like I know I've tried other people's chicken soup recipes, but I always come back to this one because I think the sage and the bay leaves are just delicious together. Now, I did make one change this time because I did not have enough chicken broth. You can also add those little chicken bouillon cubes if you want more flavoring. I don't find you need it, but some people like a really strong flavor, and those will give you a pop, like a couple of those in there if you want to basically make your own broth. But this time I put in a thing of chicken gravy, like just a powder of seasoned chicken gravy packet. I popped it in there. Honestly, I can't tell the difference from how I normally make it, but I was afraid about adding a bunch more water without adding something to balance it. So now that you guys have heard about this super fun thing that's getting me back on my feet, which is my very thick, look at all that in the celery. This is the only way I can get my husband to eat celery, by the way. He doesn't like celery, but celery and carrots in soup, he doesn't mind at all. Love it. And I probably, if it was just me eating it, I'd probably put a whole bunch more celery in here because I like that little bite of celery in every bite of the soup. But I can go with this. Now, the other thing I learned as a kid, in case you guys have never tried this, if you like ham sandwiches, regular mustard has a little kick to it, right? So if you do just a little bit of mustard, ham, toasted bread, it gives it the best flavor when you're dipping your sandwich in your soup to eat your soup. That little bit of mustard hitting the sage and the bay leaf, so delicious. So this is just a quick and easy recipe, get you back on your feet, and it's great for snow days. It really warms you up. If you have to go shovel snow, this is great to eat before because you're going to feel like you're full, but you're not going to feel like you can't go do the work you need to do. And it's crock pot recipe, so super easy to clean it, to clean up afterwards and get rid of everything. And you can see I heated this up and it's cooling off. I'm going to eat this afterwards. Actually, I'm going to go make some of those cheddar biscuits with the garlic salt. I'm going to make a little bit of those and have this for lunch. But I wanted to heat it up because as it's cooling off, I wanted you to see there's not a ton of grease in here. Like I really, when stuff starts to cool off, you can see the grease congeal. There's just not because of the way that I make this. So my husband can eat it and he loves it too. And anything I can do to get him to eat something like that because he's not a big soup person. And so if I know I'm going to be doing something like my COVID booster or something, and I'm planning for soup for 3 or 4 days, I have to have something that he will also eat so I don't feel like I have to cook something else, right? So does anybody want, we just have a couple minutes left now, but don't forget to join me tonight for the snow people. We're going to make these really easy snow cookies. And guys, if you're going to have snow this week, this weekend, or next week, these are great cookies to do with the kids because you can't mess them up. They can be made really fancy if you want to sell them for orders, but they're great cookies to do with the kids. Does anybody want me to create one of the Cookie Snack Attack Cookie Education System cards with the chicken noodle soup recipe on it? Or was that easy enough that you guys will remember what to do? Because I do have photos. I do have photos and we can do that. I can make the cards really easy, like after this is over, after I get some lunch in me and then take a nap. But it's a really easy recipe. And if you guys make something similar, let me know. I would love to try your recipe. I just always come back to the bay leaves and the sage and a little bit of salt and pepper. Just, I find that that comes really well for me. Hey, Diane, I haven't seen you. How are you? I feel that that tastes really well for me. And another reason why is some things that I've tried, I really like them. Hey, Suzanne, I really like them as far as the flavor when it's hot and fresh and coming out, but I don't like them after they've been frozen and reheated. And we do batch things and freeze it because there's just two of us and we cook in big batches like that. So there's some things that I've tried. I really like them if you're gonna if you're gonna have a meal and have a whole bunch of people over, and it's going to be completely consumed as your soup as part of your meal. But sometimes when those things are frozen or reheated, you're going to have and maybe it's just me because I have very sensitive taste and smell from baking for so long, but some of those things when they're thawed and heated, to eat for a second meal or something, I just really don't like them. So, and another thing, so do we want a card? Kelly says yes, she wants a card. Okay, so I'll do a card. I'll do a card this afternoon and put it up before tonight. And then your Snow People cards will be up tomorrow after I take pictures of the cookies we do tonight. And then also, if you like the soup and you're going to try it, then Myra wants a card too. Okay, I'll make it. Okay, Nicole's saying yes too. So no problem. I'll do that. And then I'm seeing Debbie put a recipe up here too. The other thing that I want to put up for you is my baked potato cheese soup, because it's another crock pot soup that is absolutely fabulous, freezes super well. The flavors are good even on round two, easy to make and very filling. I know. Yes. Okay. That sounds good. So I'll work on that for another day. But hopefully, now that I've had my booster shot and Anna's had her surgery, hopefully I am good to go. Hopefully we won't have any other oddities. And thank you for letting me do a shorter broadcast today and not getting upset with me. I just didn't think I could do the whole thing and do cookies this morning. But I will see you tonight for Snow People. I hope everyone is having an awesome day. Make some chicken noodle soup this afternoon. Let me know how it goes for you. And we will be doing Snow People cookies tonight. And I'll tell you all about these when we come back this evening. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sending stars. I see a few of you already sent stars today. And make sure you check out the coffee shop site. We've got all of the Cookie Education System cards listed and all at the regular price, okay? All right. Sharon, no trouble at all. I like a schedule and I like people to know where you're going to be when you're supposed to be. I really didn't want to miss. So just being a little bit shorter today helps me tremendously. Thank you guys so much. I hope you're having a good day and I will see you guys shortly. 7 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time.